Hello from Coleman & Company. If you're following a trail of videos here, you've seen we just finished weeding this rhinestone template out that was running in our Graphtec cutting plotter. And what we're going to do now is actually create a rhinestone transfer. So first things first is we want to pick which of our crystalline stones we want to work with. And we've got two different sizes here. So we're going to pick an SS6 and we're going to pick an SS10. So for the this is a Snowflakes for Dance Mom. This video is created in the winter, so this is particularly a good theme. So first I've got some some crystal AB stones, and then I've got for our sixes I've got some regular crystal stones. So this right here is a bulk bag of stones. So you can find them from bulk down to 50 gross, and even some of them you can find in these packs if you want, if you need just a very small amount of stones or you want to try some things out. So we sell them in all different sizes and discounts at all different levels. So now that we've got our AB stones, we're going to go ahead and place those on here, and we're going to use our brush. We've got our rhinestone tweezers. I've still got my pick just in case I need anything like that or I missed any weeding. And that's really all you need to get things going. So first things first, let's get our stones on. I'll move these out of the way, get them handy. When putting our rhinestones on, I always say to use probably a good three times what, at least 3 to 4 times what the transfer actually needs. And this one actually went a little bit heavy on, I think, but that's just going to make it a whole lot easier as you're brushing these in. Plenty of excess stones, and not a lot of having to go back and fix things after the fact. Now, this is a template system, so it's always going to have a few that come and don't fall into place, or you might knock a few out. You could have some rhinestone that was a little didn't quite land in where it needed to go, and then it ends in there, and then it ends up in there on the edge, like if you see here. That one kind of ended up on the edge. If I were to brush this one without noticing it, it's going to come out like so. So you might have 1 or 2 fall out, but that's no problem. This is such a quick and simple process that if you have 1 or 2 that don't fall into place, I usually just kind of let them, just leave them be, and I'll go back and add them later. It's easier almost to just drop a few that might fall out of place that way than to actually bring all of my stones back. So I've got 99% of the stones into place that quickly here. And like I said, personal preference, I'll just go back in with the rhinestone tweezers. It's so quick and easy that it's just minimal effort to do it this way. So we've got our snowflake done, and then of course we want to go ahead and get all of our stones out of the way. As you notice, they don't fall into the SS6 template holes, so we can do 2 different colors at once. Now when working with these, I want to push these all the way to the edge of the board. They're actually going out of the frame here, but as you can see, get them all the way to the edge so you don't accidentally mix any stones later on. And one kind of got stuck in here. Looking, missed a little weed there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our crystal sixes. So again, I'm just going to start at the bottom here. And work this up. What's great about this rhinestone template system is that if you're just trying to get started into the rhinestone transfer business or the rhinestone t-shirt and embellishment business, this is something that requires very little training. You don't have to have a lot of technical skill in graphics or machine operation. You don't need a lot of space. You know, as you can see, I mean, this is really all the space that you need to be able to run, to be able to create transfers. This and just some storage for your rhinestones and your transfer paper and such. And then of course a computer. You don't need anything particularly high powered. You just need to be able to run the hotfix era software, which is essentially any computer that you can buy nowadays. So the same thing, I do the same thing down here. This is just my particular style, is I get most of them done, and then if I have 4 or 5 or 6 left over, I'll just push them right into place like this. And this is something, a practice makes perfect. Myself, I handle creating videos and the online resources and website, so I'm not doing this all day. And you know, this is not what I do all day every day, but as you can see, even with that, you know, with the practice that I've had, I'm able to get this transfer done pretty easily. And I find that that our customers that do this on a daily basis are significantly faster than I am. But I feel pretty proud of myself, considering that you know, I'm more of a computer guy, yet I'm able to get on here and easily make these transfers with essentially no error. Alright, so what I did do is a little bit of an error there, is I pushed a little bit too much of this. I pushed the stones a little bit too high, which is something I try to avoid doing. So we'll just need to just replace these really quick. Alright, and another good reason to keep your stones off to the side is if you need to pull any. So any that have gone in here, I do recommend to use the brush to get them out. Okay. Alright, and let's finalize the last 2 on the bottom, then we're going to move towards the top of the design. Now what's nice about these rhinestone tweezers is the tip. The tip's really has a really fine end to it, which is if you have a rhinestone that was flipped over, like right here, flipped one over, I didn't get it in very good. The hole on this one is actually a little bit damaged, if you can see, which is probably just because I spaced it just slightly too close on those rhinestones, and that's something that you get used to in the software as you use it more and more. So now that I've got the mom completed, I'm actually going to brush the stones over. I can just use these same stones right here. Alright. Now when you're working with these 6s, the mistake that I made before is you don't want to, the stones actually set inside here a little bit, and this is why we use the brush that we do. It's got a foam to keep it so it's not too hard to put too much pressure on there. But in addition to that, it also has those little tips which help to hold rhinestones, which help to not get a lot of rhinestones flying all over the place. It allows them to kind of collect in there. So we'll brush these through. And for effect, we'll show that. Let's just see how that did just in one quick pass. So just in one pass, we are almost complete here. So for the most part, the first time you go over this, you're going to get almost all your rhinestones in there, which is really nice. It's remarkable how the software works to cut the template out in just the right size. So we also want to note this is a particularly big design right here. As I mentioned before, we've got over 500, almost 600 stones, if memory serves correctly. And I'm just going to go back up in here and drop. It looks like I probably have maybe about a half a dozen that didn't fall right into place. And you can kind of go back and brush them on or do this. This again is just my preference. So now we're going to go through here and make sure we don't have any extra stones laying around. And we look good. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of my 6s out of the way. Okay, so now what we want to do is prepare our transfer paper. So when you're looking at your rhinestone designs, the more you work on, the more that you do your designs, the more you'll see little things like if a rhinestone like that was flipped over, or if you're missing one. In the beginning, a great way to get started is to just do a little trace, as I mentioned before. So you just can go over like this and make sure that your eyes follow. As you get better and more trained, you get to be less meticulous. Or you can be meticulous, but much faster at it. So I'm going to push all my 6 stones out of the way here. And now we're moving on to our transfer paper. Okay, so here we've got our transfer roll of our transfer paper, and what I like to do is I like to actually pre-cut these ahead of time. And what we could do when we pre-cut these is also peel up the corners a little bit, so we can actually have an easy to use, easy to peel off when your design is all ready. And how I like to do that is you could take your little tool here and fit it right between and peel up your corners and then just bend them in. So if you know you're going to do 5 of these or 10 of these ahead of time, I would go ahead and peel those up. This way when you're here, you're kind of in the zone of creating the rhinestone templates and the rhinestone transfers. And when you're in there, I don't like to go back through and have to focus on cutting and measuring a bunch of this. So you peel off your transfer paper. And then you want to work it from one side to another. And that's, going straight down or straight up is more so, meaning down like this is usually not going to give you as good as a result because of static electricity. Depending where you are, the air might have a little more static in it, and you can actually get some of your stones to actually fall out of place from the design. So once we're in here, if you want to be sure you've got everything the first time, you give it a quick rub like that. And then we'll peel our transfer up. We'll put our paper back into place. And we've got our rhinestone transfer ready for a shirt.